Morning, friends of JM Pro TV. So we are once again recorded at SEDEC office. So thank you very much, SEDEC, for letting us use the space. And right now, so on my left, so it's my friend Ben Scales, who is running for Senate, and we're gonna talk with him in this interview. So stay tuned. Hi, Ben. Welcome to the program.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. It's a wonderful space that this organization has allowed you to use, and I'm so honored and blessed to be able to talk to you and your many followers.
What are your main points in your proposition to get to the Senate?
Well, there are some big issues that we're facing. I think the number one issue that motivates me the most right now is climate change. I feel that we need to bring justice-based solutions. You remember I ran for district attorney. I'm an advocate for justice, and this campaign is going to be a continuation of that campaign. We're going to seek not only criminal justice reform, but we're going to seek justice for immigrants. We're going to seek justice for the LGBTQ community. We're going to seek racial justice, environmental justice, education justice. I think I'm going to support a Green New Deal to tackle the twin crises we have with climate change and economic sustainability. We need good, well-paying jobs for our citizens and people who are not citizens, for our residents, for the people of these mountains. And we need these jobs to be, you should only need one job. So many of our friends and neighbors in this community have to have 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 jobs just to pay for their food and their rent and their clothes for their children. And that's not the way we do things in this country.
So in this conversation, we're gonna talk about the Latinx community.
Yes.
So we would like to know, and the community, of course, would like to know, what is your vision, your perspective about the immigrant community living in the mountains?
Well, I want the immigrant community to feel safe, and I feel that we need the immigrant community here for a number of reasons: economically, socially, spiritually, and morally. We have to treat the immigrant community, because we all are immigrants. You know, I mean, my ancestors immigrated from Europe, and this country is a melting pot of immigration, and it's made stronger because of immigration.
What is your what are your thoughts about the incarceration system right now? It's affecting communities of color.
Absolutely. We need to start treating drugs like the problem that it is, a medical problem. It's not a criminal justice problem. When you have diabetes, you don't call a cop. You know, you call a doctor. If you've got a problem with drugs, you should call a doctor. The doctors, the medical establishment should be who's working on this problem. But what we've done is we've created a whole underclass of people who are saddled with criminal convictions for life. They can't do anything because they have these criminal convictions. The only thing that they're forced into a life of crime. To the only job they can get, oftentimes, is selling drugs. The immigrants don't come here just to sign up for food stamps or public assistance. Immigrants come here because that's where the jobs are. Immigrants, and we should be encouraging that. Our economy needs these jobs. These people are coming to this country and want to work. We should put them to work.
In the case of Black Mamas Liberation, so there was it's a big campaign recollecting money to bail out Black mamas, because mothers are like the most important part in the family structure. But we are feeding the system. It's the same unjust system, but we don't have another way now. So, as a senator, so what laws would you introduce to change that kind of system?
I would end cash bail completely. We're the only country besides the Philippines that has a private bail industry. I would completely eliminate the private bail industry. When someone is arrested, if they are not a danger to the community and they are not a flight risk, then they should be released, regardless of how much money they have or how little money they have. Mm-hmm. If someone is dangerous, then they should be kept in jail. If someone is a flight risk, then they should be kept in jail, whether they're rich or poor. Right now, if you're rich, you get out. If you're poor, you stay in. It causes families to have to choose between buying food and medicine or bailing their loved one out. It's causing, and in Mecklenburg County, they've almost completely done away with cash bail at a county level. And what they found is that there's been no increase in crime and there's been no increase in people not showing up for court. So the cash bail system doesn't serve the function that it's supposed to, it was invented to serve, which is to protect public safety and ensure that people come to court. Well, they're doing that without cash bail. So let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of the cash bail industry and restore sensible, common sense to our criminal justice system.
As environment, it is politically. So how hard it's going to be to negotiate that in the Senate?
Well, it's going to be hard because the status quo has the power for a reason, and they don't want to let it go. The automobile and the petrochemical industries are going to oppose what I want to do. The drug companies are going to oppose what I want to do. The insurance companies, we haven't even started talking about healthcare yet, but healthcare is another one of those top line issues for me, right up there with climate change and education. Healthcare is a right. Healthcare is not something that should only be for the rich. We could expand Medicaid here, and we could pay for it by taxing the private insurance companies. The private insurance companies
be aware of the things that are happening politically and how we can participate in the change. So please, final words for our audience.
And I think it's really important that politicians listen. First and foremost, it's easy to talk. It's the hard work is listening and taking the opinions and the beliefs of the people who voted for you and putting those into action. Because that's the reason I'm there. Not for myself, but for the people who voted for me.
Well, thank you very much, Ben.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.